Ciao a tutti, welcome back to Daily Italian with Elena. I am Elena, for whoever doesn't know it yet. Today's video is going to be the first one of 3 parts because we're going to talk about prepositions. There are 9 simple prepositions in Italian, so we're going to divide them in 3 groups, so it's easier to remember them, to learn them, if you just divide them and learn them little by little, so in parts, not all together. The first thing you need to remember is that in Italian we have these 9 simple prepositions, but that's not all. There are also some other words that are used in the same way, but we're going to look at them later on. For now, let's just focus on the simple prepositions. Another thing you need to remember is that besides having these preposizioni semplici, we will also have preposizioni articolate. What is that? That's just when you have one preposition and you put next to it the article, because some words might need the article. So what happens when you put the preposition and the article? They will be combined together. So instead of having the simple preposition, for example, di, with the article la, it will become della. Don't worry about it, we'll have a look at that as we go with our prepositions. So let's get started. In the first part of the prepositions, we're going to look at the first 3 prepositions, which are di, a, and da. So they might also sound similar, but we'll have a look at them, what's the difference, how to use them. The first preposition is di. Di. When do we use that? The first case when we use the preposition di, when we indicate possession, il possesso, l'appartenenza. So for example, when someone has something, we will use the preposition di to indicate this possession, where in English you would just use the s. For example, I want to say Chiara's house. In English you would say Chiara's house. In Italian you would say it as in the house of Chiara, la casa di Chiara. The second case, when we use the preposition di, is to express time. Time. In case of the time, we will have a lot of different prepositions to indicate time. This is just one case. When do we use it? For example, with parts of the day. Di mattina, di giorno, di pomeriggio, di sera. So in the morning, in the afternoon, etc. This is one case. Another case, for example, is with the words estate e inverno, so summer and winter. D'estate, d'inverno. For example, d'estate vado al mare. So during the summer, in the summer, I go to the beach. D'estate vado al mare. The third case, when we use the preposition di, is with topics. So when I'm talking about something, the argomento. So, for example, parlo di calcio. I talk about football. Parlo di calcio. The first case, be careful here, because we use the preposition di to say where someone is coming from, but only if I'm using the verb to be in this sentence. So, sono di Milano. Sono di Milano. I'm coming from Milan. And also we wouldn't use it with countries, we would only use it with cities. Sono di Bologna, sono di Milano, but I wouldn't say sono di Italia, that doesn't sound right. In the last case, when I'm using this preposition, is to talk about the material of something. So for example, un maglione di lana, a wool sweater, un maglione di lana. So these are our cases when we use the preposition di. Let's review them one more time. When I'm talking about possession, la casa di Chiara. Time, di mattina, di pomeriggio, d'estate, d'inverno, but only in some cases. Topic, parlo di calcio, parlo di Luca, also with people. So a topic, what I'm talking about. Origin, so where I'm coming from, but only with the verb to be, and mostly just with cities. Sono di Milano. Material, so what something is made of, di legno, di lana, di stoffa, and so on. Let's move now to our second preposition. Our second preposition is going to be a. Let's see in which cases we will need this preposition. We use this preposition when we're talking about places, where I am in or where I'm going, but not in all cases. When do we use this preposition? When I'm talking about a city, vivo a Milano, vado a Milano. So I live here and I'm going there, only with cities. With small islands as well. So for example, vivo alle Canarie, vado alle Canarie. So I live in those islands, small islands. And with some specific places, one example might be I go to school, I am at school. Sono a scuola, vado a scuola. With station, alla stazione, it depends. There are some words that we will need the preposition a for. Distance. This is something I would like you to focus on, so be careful here because a lot of my students forget about this case. To express distance, when you need to say, for example, my house is 20 meters from the post, how do you say that? We need this preposition a. La mia casa è a 20 metri dalla posta. So a plus the distance, 20 metri. This is really important, try to remember it. Again, time. As I told you before, with time and place, usually, there are many different prepositions we might need, depending on the word that follows, depending on the case. When do we use a with time? For example, with midday and midnight. A mezzogiorno, a mezzanotte. For example, with the hour specifically, alle 9, alle 12. Also with months. Sono nata a luglio. Vado al mare ad agosto. Next one is something also very important, I think, because you need a to express a way, a quality of what you're talking about. For example, torta al cioccolato. So this is a quality, this tells you the way this cake is made of, al cioccolato, or un tè alla menta. Or the next one is also very important, to say you are walking somewhere, so you're going on foot. You say a piedi, vado a piedi. So I am walking there, vado a piedi. And lastly, we use a when we are answering to the question to whom, a chi, a che cosa. Porto il libro a Anna, so I'm taking this book to Anna. Porto il libro a Anna. These are our cases with the preposition a. Let's review them one more time. With a place, for example with cities or specific places like the station, like the school, and many others of course. And with small islands. With distance. With some cases of time, most importantly with the hours. With a way of doing something, of being of something, a quality, for example, al cioccolato, alla menta, vado a piedi. And when we answer to the question a chi, a che cosa, to whom, to what. Our last preposition for today is going to be da. Da. Let's see when we use this preposition. So we use da when we indicate a place we are coming from. Vengo da Milano, vengo dall'Italia. So from that place. But we also use this when we say we are going somewhere, only when we are talking about people. Vado da mia mamma, so I'm going there. Vado dal dentista, I'm going to the dentist. So with people. Third case when we use the preposition da is with time, to express time in certain situations. For example, when I want to say in English I have been studying Italian for 3 years now, in Italian we just use the preposition da to say I have studied Italian from 3 years. So studio italiano da 3 anni, da 3 anni. Or in general we use this preposition to express the starting point. So for example, I might say I will start my diet from tomorrow, so starting from tomorrow I will do it. Da domani inizio la dieta, da domani. Or in general, from to, da lunedì a venerdì vado a scuola. The next one is going to be a very important case because some people forget about this. We use the preposition da to say what an object is for. So for example, I might say a night dress, an evening dress, un vestito da sera, so an elegant one, da sera. Or again, some training shoes, scarpe da ginnastica, also called scarpe da tennis. Or again, I want to talk a cup that's specifically for coffee, una tazzina da caffè, so a small cup for the coffee. So every time you want to say what you use an object for, you use the preposition da. We use da also to express separation or a distance. So stay away from me, stai lontano da me. Or I want to separate from him, voglio separarmi da lui, so this distance, this separation. And lastly, we use the preposition da to answer the question da chi, da che cosa. So when we want to express who did something or who is something done by. So for example, this drawing was made from that person. Il disegno è fatto da quella persona. So when you want to express who or what does a certain thing. So let's repeat them one more time. These are our cases. Let's see them one more time all together. When we want to express the place something or someone is coming from, vengo da Milano, vengo da scuola. When we want to express the place I'm going to, but only if that place is a person. Vado da mia mamma, vado dal dentista, and so on. With time, with certain cases of time, I've been studying Italian from 3 years, studio italiano da 3 anni. I will start doing something from that day, da domani, for example, so from tomorrow, or from Monday to Friday, da lunedì a venerdì, and so on. So the starting point, both for places and for time. The aim, what something is for. So scarpe da ginnastica, vestito da sera, tazzina da caffè. So what you want that thing used for. Separation, distance, so da me a te ci sono 20 metri, so this distance. Or stay away from me, stai lontano da me. And to answer the question, from whom. So usually from whom is done something, so da chi è stato fatto, da chi viene preso, so from whom or by whom, who does something. So these are our first 3 prepositions, di, a and da. In the next 2 videos you will also find the other 6 prepositions. Thank you for watching this video. Keep on watching to learn all the other prepositions, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao!